Welcome back. President Trump taking action to reshape the military as he fires the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Air Force General C.Q. Brown, over the weekend. Trump nominating retired Lieutenant General Dan Kane to take his place in what some are calling an unprecedented move, as this is the first time a president has pulled an officer out of retirement for this role, the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The Pentagon also reportedly beginning a purge of civilian employees this week. 5,400 jobs could be at stake, with more cuts coming. Joining me now is Florida Congressman Carlos Gimenez, a member of the House Armed Services and Homeland Security Committees. Congressman, it's good to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. What do you make of all these job cuts in government?
Look, the government's super overbloated. I mean, we got millions of federal employees, many of which we don't know what the heck they do. And so I applaud what the president is doing. Look, when I was mayor of Miami-Dade, the first thing I did is I looked over the entire bureaucracy of Miami-Dade County. I cut the force by 10%. I reduced the number of agencies from 42 down to 26 and reduced our operating budget by about 20%. It can be done, but it needs to be done in a very measured way. There's a way to do it so you don't step on the landmines. And I think they're heading in the right direction, but there are things that I would do a little bit differently.
Yeah, okay. So let me ask you about that, because right now you've got all these job cuts leading some people, like the Lindsay Group, to question whether or not we're going to have a recession as a result of all of this. Let's face it, you've got, a lot smaller group of people working for government, and that's going to continue. Here's what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said about it yesterday. Watch this.
If we have a bloated government, and if that gets cut down, then government spending will go down. Many times on your show in the past 10 months, I've talked about reprivatizing the economy, and that's what we're going to have to do. And so as the government employment comes down, private sector will not be crowded out anymore. All the jobs created by the Biden, not all, but the 70, 85% of the jobs created by the Biden administration were government jobs, government adjacent. They crowded out the private sector. The government interest rates spiked. I would just point out, interest rates are down 5 weeks in a row on the 10-year since President Trump took office. And mortgage rates are down. We're going to get that down.
Yeah, that's true. The 10 years now at 4.4%. White House advisor Elon Musk is asking a majority of federal workers to outline 5 weekly accomplishments and send them back by email by midnight tonight, Congressman. Musk said this on X. The reason this matters is that a significant number of people who are supposed to be working for the government are doing so little work that they're not even checking their email at all. In some cases, we believe non-existent people or the identities of dead people are being used to collect paychecks. In other words, there's outright fraud. But several agencies, including the FBI, the Pentagon, and the intelligence agencies, have told their employees to hold off on sending responses, Congressman. Now, you're on the Armed Services Committee. I guess Kash Patel is now in charge of the FBI. He should be the one telling the FBI, what to do in terms of, what you've done last week at work, right?
Exactly. That's why every agency head needs to be part of this cuts. They need buy-in. Look, they've all been appointed by President Trump. President Trump's giving them marching orders. Go ahead and trim down your agency. You're the one that needs to know, what exactly you need. You're the best to know what you need and who to cut without stepping on landmines. And so I applaud Kash Patel for saying that. Look, you really can't, an FBI agent can't tell you what they've, 5 things they've done. Oh, I've investigated so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. No, they can't do that. Same thing with DOD. We have a lot of classified information in there. Those agency heads need to have buy-in. They need to be involved in the process, and Elon Musk can help them in that process to look at things that maybe they wouldn't be looking at. That's the way that I would handle it. And I applaud the president. I want to do it. We need to cut. And the fact that, hey, the economy, it's going to actually help the economy. All these workers that are actually now taking in resources from the taxpayer now can be contributing to the tax base. I think that's all good. And the government should be streamlined and reevaluated every so often, because all bureaucracies get out of control. And believe me, the one we have right now is completely out of control.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, look, Kash Patel also named conservative commentator Dan Bongino as the deputy FBI director. President Trump, he tweeted about it. Newly sworn in FBI director Kash Patel has also been given another agency. He's been named the acting director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Congressman, your thoughts on Kash running all of these agencies and bringing on Dan Bongino as deputy FBI director?
I have no problem. Like I told you, like when I was mayor, I reduced the number of departments from 42 to 26. And yeah, some of my department directors now were in charge of other agencies or other parts of the government that I kind of combined them. And so, yeah, that's a good example of how you can use one person to run more than one agency. You should be using, your talent as much as you can. And that reduces, now you don't need a director of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, right? You got Kash Patel running the whole thing. That is, exactly what I'm talking about. That's how you can start to shrink the size of this government and the number of people that you have in this government. Over 2 million people are working for the federal government.
Congressman, let me switch gears, ask you about this reconciliation package that you all are working on, the funding package ahead of the March 14th deadline. Where are you on that? Do you expect you're going to be able to execute President Trump's agenda?
I believe in the end that we will, and so it's when you pull in one direction, you're kind of pushing in another direction, or pulling away from another direction, and so it's going to be tricky. But I also believe that the one big beautiful bill is the way to go. I have confidence in Mike Johnson, our speaker, to get it done. We know what the president wants to get done, and we have to prove to the American people that we can govern. And so, yeah, I have confidence that we can do it. It's not going to be easy, but it'll get done.
And it's not going to be easy because you've got certain members saying, look, I'm pushing back because there's too much spending again, and other members saying, look, I'm not going to buy into this tax plan if it doesn't increase the SALT deduction, right? What else is the pushback?
Those are the main pushbacks. In other words, we have some members that are from the blue states that want SALT relief, and then we have the Freedom Caucus is saying we need to cut back more on spending. You got to find that sweet spot, okay? And that's what we need to do.
All right, we're looking forward. Thanks very much, Congressman. Good to see you this morning. Carlos Gimenez joining us this morning in Miami. Great to see you, sir. We'll be right back. Stay with us.